How we doing out there, Vol Nation? This is Frank Rock. This is the House of Orange Sports Channel once again on this Tuesday evening. Thank you guys for tuning in with me. Tennessee Vols in full gear right now. They'll go till up in November when they conclude with the Orange and White series. Another scrimmage today. They had one, I think it was on Monday. I could be wrong. It was either Sunday or Monday that there was another scrimmage. Had scrimmage number 5 today, and there's plenty of news, plenty of notes coming out of it. And if you're a Tennessee baseball fan like myself, pretty fired up with what I hear. But make sure you thumbs up, hit that like button. The biggest thing, you can help me out if you're can't do the membership tiers wherever, which I understand. Make sure you share this content out. That's the best way to get this out there. And if you have not already, subscribe to the channel. Turn on those notifications when we go live. May start doing some more live shows along the way other than just Monday night. But Tennessee baseball, number 5, and I'm starting with what I'm excited about, because last year, I really thought the job that Tony Vitello, Frank Anderson, that crew did was probably the best job they've done since they've been here with that pitching staff. Because early in the year, a lot of people, when I was just building this channel, doing videos and doing some live shows, as I was just building it, a lot of people were concerned about the pitching last year, and rightfully so at the beginning. We had some ups and downs with it. A.J. Russell gets hurt, the second series of the season. We saw him briefly a couple more times before he had to have season-ending surgery. We'll probably see him back a little bit during SEC play this year. Unfortunately, we won't get a full season of him, but hopefully he'll come back healthy, ready to go for the end of the year, and then when it's time for him to move on to the Major League Baseball draft next year. But for me, the question along the way, and it went all the way till the end of the year, your starting rotation. You had, obviously, Russell was meant to be the starter. Then they went with Causey. Causey had a couple. He did pretty good most of the time. Then he had a couple rough starts against Georgia and Auburn back-to-back. Then they go with the Chris Stamos opener, which could go anywhere from 0 outs of an inning to 2 to 3 innings, depending where it was at. It was normally closer to less than an inning than it was more than an inning. And Causey would come in. Causey did a pretty good job, but to me, that's not what you want out of your Friday night, especially when most of the time, or Thursday night, depending on when you're facing another team's ace. Drew Beam was the constant number 2 guy on the weekend, Xander Sechrist. And what about him, man? Earlier in the year, people saying, we got to find somebody else for the rotation here on this Sunday. All of a sudden, he comes up facing possibly the best offense Tennessee faced last year in Georgia and shut them down. He and Nate Snead shut them down, had some up and down. Then at the end of the year, who did we want with the ball in our hand? Who kept getting the ball when it mattered? It was Xander Sechrist. What they did with them, they worked in Kirby Cannell. They worked in Nate Snead. They worked in, Combs. Combs started out slow. Combs finished strong, though. He was the guy we thought he would be at the end. Andrew Banky, Dylan Lloyd. You just saw guys keep progressing. Different guys would step up as the year went along. And I probably forgot somebody in there. But to me, looking at this team this year and all that Tennessee brought in with this highly touted freshman class, with all these JUCO guys that they signed pitching-wise, this to me was what I wanted to see. This to me had signs. And that's not even including Liam Doyle and Tanner Franklin, who we've not seen Franklin pitch any during fall ball yet. We've not seen Franklin. We've not seen Nate Snead. We've not seen Tanner Wiggins that I'm aware of. And at least in scrimmage settings. Now, they may be throwing some bullpens. I would imagine they are. But we haven't seen them in the scrimmage settings. But the guy, some of these freshman guys like Siebert, Krenzel, Smart, some of these dudes are hurt, not throwing right now. But the guy that I'm excited about, the guy that is turning heads in Knoxville, Tegan Kuhns, freshman pitcher. I've stated this numerous times. I don't think anybody thought he was going to make it to Knoxville, but he did. You get a talent like that in Knoxville, especially when they're putting in the work, when they're coming in dealing the way he is, you put them to use. Tegan Kuhns is going to be in the weekend rotation this year. Liam Doyle transfer from Ole Miss, is going to be in the weekend rotation. These two guys are turning heads. These two guys are doing their thing. Ben McKee, Ryan of 24/7 Sports, Ryan Shumpert, Rocky Top Insider were on hand today to catch part of the scrimmage. And Kuhns today, depending on McKee and Shumpert said he had 4 Ks. I'd heard otherwise that had 5 Ks. So there's a couple things out there on that. But Kuhns went 2 2/3 innings today, 1 walk, 4 or 5 strikeouts, depending what it is. And I think he gave up 1 hit today. And that normally the pitchers go about 2 innings, but that tells me even with his number of strikeouts, his pitch count was low today. That means he was throwing strikes. He's dealing. He is dealing right now. From what I've heard, this dude is locked in. Big things for this guy. And what you got to keep in mind with this, and there's numerous guys on the team we've seen the last couple of years because it's going to be that way with Dean Curley this year. It was that way with Dylan Dreiling last year. Some of these guys come to campus. By the end of their second year, they're eligible for the Major League Baseball draft due to their age. Kuhns is in that category where I think we better enjoy 2 years of him based on everything we're hearing. Tennessee's got a big-time prospect who has been dealing against, the old saying, iron sharpens iron. That's what we're getting here. He's going against the best and making them look bad. That's a good sign because I don't expect this Tennessee offense to be what it was last year. I don't expect it to be as good as the 2022 offense. I expect it to be better than 23, though. And meaning it'll be a stout offense. I really think it will. But anybody expecting it to be what 24's was or even 22, I think you're setting yourself up for disappointment. And that's nothing against this. I think it'll be a deep lineup. But that last year, that top end of the lineup, that's a generational lineup right there with guys that, Moore, Burt, Amick, just to name a few, Dreiling, Tears, Inslee when he went to that 5 holes, lights out. That's encouraging to me. Tate Strickland, another freshman, throwing good as well. It said today he threw a couple innings, 1 hit. He did give up a home run to Blake Grimmer today. 4 strikeouts on the day for him, 2 walks. I think he got himself in trouble with the walks. And that seems to be kind of a theme with some of these guys. Aiden Hayes threw today 2 innings, 1 hit, 1 run, but 4 walks and a hit by pitch. And the walks have been a problem with him. Nick Abraham, another highly touted freshman, 1 2/3, 2 walks, 2 Ks, no runs. Stratton Scott, another freshman, 1 2/3, 4 hits, 4 runs, only 2 were earned, 2 Ks on the day. Now, if we look at some of this along the way, too, look at your other pitchers earlier in the week in the scrimmage. Michael Sherman, JUCO transfer, had a good outing, couple innings, 4 Ks. Austin Breedlove, had a good outing as well as he went 3 innings, 3 strikeouts, no hits, no runs, no walks. That's efficient baseball. That is efficient baseball. And he had a rough outing, his first outing of the fall, but he bounced back with, one of the best outings of the fall by going 3 innings. And most of the time, these guys will go about 2 innings. But that tells me, again, he's locating. His pitch count is there. That is efficient, big boy baseball right there, going 3 innings, no hits, no walks, and 3 strikeouts. I like what the capabilities are of this pitching staff. I'm penciling Doyle and Kuhns in for the weekend. The question is, who's that third one? I think Nate Snead is a wild card. There's Brandon Arvidsson who's in there. I've heard Tanner Franklin, transfer from Kennesaw State, mentioned. Could Sharman or Breedlove? I've heard about Thomas Crabtree. I don't remember seeing much of Thomas Crabtree so far. And I could be wrong on that, just be forgetting his outing. But I think it's going to come down to possibly Snead, Arvidsson. Could Dylan Loy? We've not seen Dylan Loy yet as well. So I wonder where some of these guys played summer ball, if they're just kind of saving their arm and just throwing some bullpens and not using them in the scrimmage settings. Shifting to offense, Reese Chapman seems to be having a really good fall right now. It was said today he mashed another home run today. He hit that. Let me look back. That was off. Actually, I think it was Chapman who hit it off Tate Strickland. If I'm not mistaken, let me see. No, it was Grimmer. Chapman hit it off of it does not say who he hit it off of here, actually. So if he didn't hit it off of Tate Strickland, let me see if Rocky Top Insider here has it, because it was, I don't see it on that account. It had to have been either Aiden Hayes or Stratton Scott that he hit it off of. But Chapman's hitting. There's other guys. I mean, I mentioned on my title that, you know, Chapman Mash's infield competition is intense. What I like they're doing, and I said this the whole time, this infield competition is going to be a knockdown-dragout. Gavin Keelan, Dean Curley, Ariel Antigua, Andrew Fisher, they're all moving them around. You're seeing Dalton Bargo playing a little bit of third, a little bit of first, a little bit of catcher, a little bit of outfield. They're moving him around, getting him in some positions. Levi Clark, Chris Newstrom. I didn't see Newstrom mentioned today, but I've seen him listed at catcher, first base, third base, outfield. I've seen Levi Clark mentioned at catcher, first base, left field. I think Chapman's your right fielder, Inslee your center fielder. I think left field's wide open. And then it depends on what they're going to do with that infield, because they have so much talent. They're playing Jay Abernathy in the outfield. Could he be a guy? They've been batting him leadoff here with his speed and what he can create. Highly touted prospect there. I've not seen much the last couple of days of Manny Marin, or I didn't today anyway. It seems like they're kind of rotating guys in and out. I mean, they're trying to get 11, 12 guys playing for each team. So, I mean, that's going to leave some guys out each day. But your Levi Clark, Stone Lawless seems to be hitting really well. Talked about him. Seems to me that Cannon Peebles has been a little quiet. So, I mean, if I'm Cannon Peebles, there is competition. And Stone Lawless, Chris Newsom, Brooks Wright, freshman out of Knoxville's hit a couple bombs here. This team is loaded with talent. It is loaded with talent. Yeah, it's young. Yeah, it's unproven. But this is Tony Vitello baseball. You graduate a bunch of guys, or I say graduate them to the MLB draft, another crop's ready to take over on it. That's what we see with this team, with this squad. I mean, guys like Alex Perry is taking advantage of opportunities. Blake Grimmer was a highly touted prospect last year, taking advantage of some opportunities. I mean, Colby Backus has got an opportunity, 0 for 2 with the K today. That's probably not going to get it done for him. You got two-way player Braden Sharp, who pitches a little bit, hits a little bit. Jackson Walker's getting some opportunity out in the outfield as well. He's been pretty consistent as far as what I've seen in the lineup each day. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anybody I'm missing here that I haven't mentioned. I mean, Hunter High, I think I mentioned him a minute ago, is taking advantage of some opportunities. I think he's going to be a guy that's going to be hard to keep out of lineup. I think Alex Perry, there's going to be a lot of guys that's going to be hard to keep out of lineup. But the only problem is you can only play 9 dudes. So it's a good thing. It's a good situation for Tony Vitello and his staff to have with so much talent, so many guys that can hit. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun when we get to the spring, when baseball starts. I can't wait. That's the fun thing right now about Tennessee athletics. All the sports, barring that bedwetter that we just saw Saturday night, are hitting on all cylinders and have been a lot of fun to watch. Hopefully that was the outlier we saw out Tennessee football and not the new norm at it. But, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you like, you share, subscribe. Check out those membership tiers, that Patreon. There's links in the description. Or if you want to say thanks, there is a super thanks button in the bottom right-hand corner. All memberships, all these things, they do go to help support the channel. Try to bring you the best coverage that I can on here. Frank Rock, House of Orange Sports Channel. Last but most certainly not least, go Vols.